Saint of the day, Saint Alphonso Mari Liguori, Bishop, Doctor of the Church, and the founder of Redemptrix Congregation. He was born Alfonso Mari Anthony John Cosmos Damian Michael Gaspar de Liguori on September 27, 1696 at Marianella near Naples, Italy. Raised in a pious home, Alfonso went on retreat with his father, Don Joseph, who was a naval officer and a captain of the Royal Galleys. Alfonso was the oldest of 7 children raised by a devout mother of Spanish descent. Educated at the University of Naples, Alfonso received his doctorate at the age of 16. By age 19, he was practicing law, but he saw the transitory nature of the secular world and, after a brief time, retreated from the law courts and his fame. Visiting the local hospital for incurables on August 28, 1723, he had a vision and was told to consecrate his life solely to God. In response, Alfonso dedicated himself to the religious life even while suffering persecution from his family. He finally agreed to become a priest but to live at home as a member of a group of secular missionaries. He was ordained on December 21, 1726, and he spent 6 years giving missions throughout Naples. In April 1729, Alfonso went to live at the Chiefless College founded in Naples by Father Matthew Ripa, the Apostle of China. There he met Bishop Thomas Falcio, founder of the Congregation of Pious Workers. This lifelong friendship aided Alfonso, as did his association with the mystic Sister Mary Celeste. With their aid, Alphonsus founded the Congregation of the Most Holy Redeemer on November 9, 1732. The foundation faced immediate problems, and after just 1 year, Alfonso found himself with only one lay brother, his other companions having left to form their own religious group. He started again, recruited new members, and in 1743 became the prior of the two new congregations, one for men and one for women. Pope Benedict XIV gave his approval for the men's congregation in 1749 and for women in 1750. Pope Benedict XIV gave his approval for the men's congregation in 1749 and for the women's in 1750. Alfonso was preaching missions in the rural areas and writing. He refused to become the Bishop of Palermo, but in 1762 had to accept the papal command to accept the see of Saint Agatha of the Goths near Naples. Here he discovered more than 30,000 uninstructed men and women and 400 indifferent priests. For 13 years, Alfonso fed the poor, instructed families, reorganized the seminary and religious houses, taught theology and wrote. His austerities were rigorous, and he suffered daily the pain from rheumatism that was beginning to deform his body. He spent several years having to drink from tubes because his head was so bent forward. An attack of rheumatic fever from May 1768 to June 1769 left him paralyzed. He was not allowed to resign his see, however, until 1775. In 1780, Alfonso was tricked into signing a submission for royal approval of his congregation. This submission altered the original rule, and as a result, Alfonso was denied any authority among the Redemptorists. Deposed and excluded from his own congregation, Alfonso suffered great anguish, but he overcame his depression and he experienced visions, performed miracles, and gave prophecies. He died peacefully on August 1, 1787 at Nocera di Pagani near Naples as the Angelus was ringing. He was beatified in 1816 and canonized in 1839. In 1871, Alfonso was declared a Doctor of the Church by Pope Pius IX. His writing on morals, theological, and aesthetic matters had great impact and have survived throughout the years, especially his moral theology and his glories of Mary. He was buried at the monastery of Pagani near Naples. Shrines were built there and at Saint Agatha of God. He is the patron of confessor, moral theologians, and lay apostolate. In liturgy art, he is depicted as bent over, with rheumatism or as young priest.